संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, in continuation of our last Sunday's talk, we will continue to study the 7th chapter, and we had completed the introduction and the first shloka. To keep the continuity alive, allow me to remind you the last few ideas that I had mentioned in my last talk. The idea is that the first 6 chapters mentions how a human being fully confused about what is his or her true original nature becomes a victim of circumstances while living in this world. How that can confuse human by proper self-education can build up a spiritual personality by means of which that very frail human, full of faults and follies and confusion, that very human can be one with God. This is the secret. Now, who can explain to you about what is God but God Himself? That is why I mentioned to you in the whole of the Gita study, you will never find the word Sri Krishna Uvacha. It is always said Bhagavad Uvacha. And who is Sri Krishna? Is a total and a complete incarnation of the divine. What does it mean? These are words. Let us get into the idea that is being conveyed by these words. Avatara, one who has descended. Avatara, one who has taken a descent. Descent from where? From that area of which we have no idea. Area known as the land of God or kingdom of God or the divine. He is born as a human, behaves like a human, lives in the human society, but not for a single moment of his livelihood or his living in this world, he is not aware of his divinity. He is always aware of his divinity. Atandra Chaitanya is the word that I had used, whose awareness never goes to sleep. He himself is telling about himself in a language which we ordinary people can understand. The 7th chapter starts this way, and he says, I am going to tell you in great detail, in its totality, where there is nothing to know and to experience is left behind. Please, for heaven's sake, listen to me with a one-pointed attention and totally merged with my presence. These are the 2 preconditions. You must be totally devoted to me and you have to be totally in communion with me, and you have to be totally infatuated with me. What does it mean? He expects us to give a total attention to what Sri Krishna is saying. Why this exacting attitude? Because our mind moves in 1,000 directions. He doesn't want that. He wants that we develop that capacity through practicing the practices mentioned in the 6th chapter, the chapter on meditation, Dhyana Yoga. He wants us to put that into practice, concentrate our attention and mind, and pay a pinpointed attention to what God Himself has to say about Himself in such a manner that we do understand. Now, dear, we move on to the second shloka today. I'll read it now, but to understand thoroughly the content of the second verse, second shloka, we need to have some preliminary informations. Let me first read the shloka for you, and then I will let you know the inner meaning of the shloka. The shloka is like this. Jnanam te aham savijnanam idam bhakshami ase satah. This is the first line. Savijnanam jnanam. He's using two words, jnana and vijnana sahitam jnanam. Remember these two words, jnanam and vijnanam, and they are being amalgamated together. Idam bhakshami, I am going to explain to you in endless manner, where there is no residue left for understanding, in totality, in completeness. God is promising to you that I am going to explain to you the meaning of the two words, jnanam, vijnanam, and how they could be amalgamated. Jnana sahitam vijnanam. Jnanam savijnanam. And I am going to teach you, Bhakshami, explain to you, make it understandable to you, how asheshataha, shesha is end. There will be no end to it in its totality, no leftover, nothing left behind in totality. What is the necessity? Why do I need it? The necessity and the need is Jaj Gyatva, having known and experienced which, Iha, in this life of yours, Bhuya Anyat Gyatavyam Na Avashishyate. Nothing else remains to be known if you know me in my entirety. This is the meaning of the second shloka. Let me now paraphrase it for you. He says, look, I am now going to teach you what is jnanam, what is vijnanam, how they could be amalgamated, and I will tell you in such a manner that nothing is left behind in its completeness, in its totality. Good enough. Why should I pay so much of attention and care? What is the end result of it? We are all profit-oriented people. I am going to spend my time and energy only when I am convinced it is profitable to me, beneficial to me. You are asking for my total attention, total understanding. You are expecting me to be totally dedicated to your statements so that I can understand and experience you in totality. My goodness, why should I? The last line of the shloka tells you what is the benefit that lies or waits for you in this study. Knowing which, experiencing which, what is that? My true original nature. What is the concept of the divine? Knowing which, experiencing which, nothing else in this world remains to be known. You will be totally satiated, totally complete. There will be no desire to know things of the world. You have known it in its totality, entirety. This is the meaning of the second verse. As I told you, I have to inform you of certain ideas of which you may be aware, but you do not know how it could be utilized in this study. What is those ideas? The two words he has used, jnanam and vijnanam. What is jnanam? What is vijnanam? Jnanam, in plain English translation, is to know, the process of knowing, generating knowledge. That is jnanam. Process of knowing which generates knowledge, and pedantically, academically, if you say, that science is known as epistemology. How do a man know? So, the whole process of knowing is a psychological activity within a human psyche or a human personality, is jnanam. And what is vijnanam? Experiencing the end result of that knowledge. Experiencing the end result of that knowledge. Sa vijnanam. Vijnana sahitam jnanam. This is it. Now let us get back to the preliminary. I see you. All of you are sitting in my presence. My eyesight is clear and clean, not defective. I see all of you. Various names, various forms, shapes and sizes and colors. And I know you personally. I know what are your qualities, good and bad. And I know what are your utilitarian value in this society. What are you professionally? And my eyes absorbs your presence, stimulates my optic nerves. That stimulation of the nervous system reaches that part of the brain which is competent enough to convert those sensations into ideas. In what form? Here is Mr. So-and-so sitting in front of me. Here is Mrs. So-and-so sitting in front of me. And I say, I know so-and-so is sitting in front of me. My knowledge of your existence, knowledge of your presence in front of me is complete. But if I am blind, this avenue of knowledge is closed to me. Living in this world, my dears, I make use of my 5 sense organs to generate knowledge. And the end result of that knowledge is, I say, I know. I know. This is the whole procedure of generation of knowledge in a worldly manner. Without my 5 sense organs, any one of them, 2 of them, all of them, whatever you may say, my avenue of acquisition of knowledge is dependent on my 5 sense organs. If I am deaf, I don't hear you, and the avenue of knowing through hearing is 0 to me. If I am blind, it is 0 to me. If my nose is damaged, I don't smell, it is 0 to me. But there's another type of knowing. What is that? I prepare a chamber where there's plenty of air and oxygen for you to breathe, to be alive. I enclose you in that chamber. I don't allow you to see because it is pitch dark. It is soundproof. It is smell-proof. I don't allow you to touch anything. Much less I don't allow you to eat or drink anything. I have willfully, and you are a willing participant to undergo this experiment. You are confined in this chamber. All your avenues of knowing is closed, shut down. What do you experience? I am, and Swamiji has imprisoned me, enclosed me in a dark chamber. Your awareness of your existence is complete. I am. I exist. And as because I have identified myself with my body, I say Swamiji has enclosed me in a dark chamber. I am. Your awareness of your amness does not need the help of your 5 sense organs. your awareness of your amness, that is, your awareness that you exist, does not depend on your five sense organs. In Sanskrit language, it is said, Swa Samvedya Chaitanya, self-evident awareness. This concept is translated into that word Vijnana. Ahamasmi, I am aware, I am aware, I exist. Swa, self, samvedya, evident, awareness, Chaitanya. Sasamvedya, Chaitanya. Jnana is with the help of your five sense organs, and Vijnana is where your five sense organs are not involved, not required. Swa Anubhava Jnana, Swa Anubhava Pratyaksha. I am aware, I am. These are the two aspects of knowing or experiencing. One is indirect. Why? It needs the help of your five sense organs. And the other is self-evident. You don't need your five sense organs. What you make a mistake is, you have erroneously, mistakenly identified yourself with your body. That is why you say, I am enclosed. Why? Because you have identified yourself with the body. That is a mistaken identity of yourself. You have made a mistaken identity, a misconception of the word I am, and you do not know who am I? What am I? Jnana is the basis of all tertiary knowledge, worldly knowledge. That is Jnanam. What is Vijnanam? Ahamasmi, I am. Swa Anubhava Karanam. I am aware, I am. I don't need my eyes, I don't need my ears, I don't need my nose, I don't need my skin, I don't need my tongue. I know I am. Sri Krishna is trying to teach you to know thyself in its true original nature. To know thyself in your true original nature is Vijnana. And that is what to know, Tat Tvam Asi. These three words are elaborated in the whole of the Gita. 6 chapters, whole of the 18th chapter. So now we are starting to identify ourselves in our true original nature, and we start with God telling us in the incarnated form of Sri Krishna, God telling us what is His true original nature and how to be one with God by knowing thyself. Know thyself. You will know everything. When he says, bhuyo anyat na gyatavyam avashishyate. Iha. Iha bhuya anyat gyatavyam na avashishyate. That is the paraphrase. In this life of yours, if you know your true original nature, who you are, nothing remains to be known. You know the essence of the universe. And I just now told you, where does this diversity depend? On 4 concepts. Each and every item of this universe has been given a name, which is newly discovered, is being given a new name, coronavirus. A new name. It was not there, it has been found out, so a name has been given. Each has a name, a form, a size, a shape, a color, and each one has qualities, deadly qualities, or qualities of immortality. And finally, each and every particle has a utilitarian value in the matrix of the whole universe. These 4 are variables. They create the diversity. The basis is the eternal spirit, Tat Padartha, the divine, which is nothing but your true original nature. Thou art that. Therefore, to conclude, the theorem is being concluded, QED, know thyself, everything will be known. To give you an example, there are 2 examples which I quote from the scriptures. A student was unable to understand that diversity is an appearance, not a reality. Because it is real. He was unable to understand the substance hidden behind the diversity. So he honestly told the teacher, I don't understand. The teacher took him to an earthen potter's shop, a terracotta preparer's shop. And there he finds 1,000 and different of things of utility, with a name, with a form, with certain qualities and utilitarian value arranged in the shelf and the showcases. And the teacher highlighted, they are made of clay. They are made of clay. And to make it very convincing to the student, he says, go and get a stick. Break everything. What is that breaking? You are demolishing the name, you are demolishing the shape, you are demolishing the qualities, and you are demolishing the utilitarian value. What remains? Pieces of clay. The clay was there. The clay was formed into this shape and size, given a name, a utilitarian value, and when broken, it goes back to clay again. If you know clay, you know how many things can be made of clay. Similarly, the second example is example of golden ornaments. Each and every ornament has a size, a shape, a utilitarian value, quality, and etc., etc., etc. When you heat it up and melt it, it becomes pure gold. Once you know gold, you know thousands of diversities of ornaments can be made of gold. You know the substance, therefore the diversity appears to be real, but it is not real. That is why with this analogy, Sri Krishna here says that in this life of yours, if you understand thoroughly well by experiencing, I now know I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the prana, the life, I am not the mana, they all belong to me, I am the owner. Like my shirt or my pair of torn shoes, I own them. I can live without them. I am what I am. Experienceable, but not describable. That is what I am. Once I know this, the whole world is known to me. And as because the whole world is known to me, as I identify with this universe, nothing happens in this universe which is beyond my knowing. All I need to do is put my attention there. And if I have an emotional relationship, it will automatically flourish into me, happening 10,000 miles away. These are the experiences of a realized soul because he has identified himself with his true original nature. So, tasya sarvagatyam bijam. The seed is that he knows everything. The diversity, how the diversity happens, and the reality behind the diversity, which is his own true original nature. So, dears, this is why the word Vijnanam is so very important. Jnanam and Vijnanam. So, let us read the second shloka again, and let us now understand what these two shlokas mean. Let me read the first one also. The introduction. Sri Bhagavad Uvacha. God Himself now is trying to teach us how to know His true original nature by knowing my true original nature, whereby I equate my amness with the amness of the divine. Water is in the ocean. Water is on a flowing river. The river water is a river water. Ocean water is the ocean water. And when the Parramatta river through the harbour enters the ocean, it is water only, neither ocean water or river water. It becomes water. The word ocean and word river disappears. That is what it is. You are that. So, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Mai Ashakta Manaha Partha Mai Ashakta Manaha Partha Yogam Junjan Mad Ashrayaha Asansayam Samagram Mam Jatha Gyasvasi Tat Shrido. Now, if you read the translation and remember these ideas, you'll get into the root of it. The second verse is Jnanam te aham sabhijnanam idam bhakshami asheshata. I am going to teach you what is jnanam, what is vijnanam, and how they are to be amalgamated. Idam bhakshami, this particular incident, I am going to teach you in great detail without any leftover, in totality. Knowing which, in this life of yours, there is nothing else to be known. You will be sarvagya. You will become one with the divine. Now the question of amalgamation. Jnanam savijnanam. They are not two different things. I will tell you in a very graphic, descriptive manner. Try to understand it and you would know. Now, here is it. I make myself an example. I was born in a small house in Calcutta. My identity was that house in Calcutta, my ancestral house. I grew. I was sent to school. And I came to know Calcutta is a city in the province of Bengal. So, my field of identity has increased from my house where I was born to the city to which I belong, Calcutta. And that Calcutta is a part and parcel of Bengal. I was being educated. My field of identification is expanding. Thereafter, I knew Bengal is a part of India and India is a nation. I am an Indian national. My identity started with my ancestral house. Now I say I am an Indian. All those were true. They are true. I am growing in dimension. And India is a part of Asia, part of the world, and we are all humans. From a family of 5, I identify myself with the family of human society with quadrillions. Have I not grown in my identity? Have breaking my boundaries of limitation? The last step remains. Well, I am a human, but who am this human is? I say my body, I say my nationality, I say this is my genes. All of them are mine. Who am I? We are the humans we are in this last stage of our boundary. That boundary has to be broken by educating ourselves devotedly, dedicatedly, diligently, in a disciplined manner with an unstoppable determination. 5 Ds. We have to break that boundary. When that boundary is broken, it becomes savijnanam. What is that? I see you. From the worldly point of view, I know who you are. And from the spiritual oneness point of view, I know he who resides here resides there. Unity in diversity. He behaves like a normal human being, but he's walking on a tightrope. He bends this way, he falls to the world. He bends that way, he falls to the absolute. Jnanam iha savijnanam. With this, that is the state of a realized soul. So Jnani Purusha is the one who has disciplined himself on call. His mind goes into samadhi. But I give you an example. Sri Ramakrishna's Guru, Totapuri. I'll give you an example. What is savijnanam and what is jnanam, jnani? Totapuri was a realized soul. He knew the art of disciplining his mind and merged with the Absolute. Not only that, he taught that procedure to Sri Ramakrishna. And he knew oneness of the universe. But look at the behavior pattern. What is the behavior pattern? It was a winter evening. Totapuri had the habit of burning the sacred fire known as dhuni and sit around that fire and be lost in his meditation. And he had Sri Ramakrishna sitting next to him. A poor man, probably a daily worker working somewhere, daily wage earner, was going back home and found that there are few burning charcoals, ambers, very suitable for his hookah, his chile, so that he can have a puff. So he came close to the fire and started taking out few ambers. Now for Totapuri, this fire is very sacred. It represents Brahman. Burns away all dirt and dross. So Totapuri was furious because this man has the temerity to touch this sacred fire. So they have a tongue, to arrange that fire. He took that tongue, called him a rascal, and wanted to hit him. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting next to him. Sri Ramakrishna says, "Hey, the naked one," he didn't call him by name. He used to call him Nanta, the naked one. "Hey, naked one, just now you taught me the whole world is Brahman. Where does this rascal come from?" Vijnana Sahitam Jnanam was not with Totapuri at that time. a little diversion, dear. The scriptures say, when an avatar is born, he behaves like a normal human being. He accepts Guru. And Sri Ramakrishna had several of them to teach him several branches of religion and religious disciplines. And that human Guru, in whom little shortcoming remains, because Avatara is his disciple, that Avatara completes the incompleteness, adequates the inadequacy, sufficients the insufficiency of the good. This word of Ramakrishna, O naked one, you taught me that the whole world is Brahman. Where did this concept of a rascal come from? And that was an eye-opener for his teaching. That is, the behavior pattern in a day-to-day manner is not in consonance with the jnana. In consonance with it. That is why jnanam, savijnanam, transforms the whole human personality and transforms the behavior pattern of a realized soul when he sees the divine everywhere and the behavior is divine. He can make it human, he can make it divine as and when he needs. This is Jnanam Te Iha Savijnanam Bhakshami. And this chapter will teach you how to educate ourselves so that we can grow to that dimension. Friends, it is not a very easy task. We do understand that. Sri Krishna understands that. And he tells you, see how honest these scriptures are. They always side with the learner. And with motherly affection, Matri Sama Upanishad, like a mother's affection, the mother holds the child by hand and teaches the child. Similarly, the scriptures do so. He says here, let us read the third shloka. The most important philosophical aspect has been covered by the two shlokas. Now it is not so difficult. A statement of fact. What is it? Manushanam sahasreshu kasyit jatati siddhaye jatataamapi siddhyanam kasyit mam beti tattatah. This is the shloka. Let me translate it for you. Sahasreshu manushanam. Out of thousands and thousands of humans, kasyit, one or two stray examples. What do they do? Those one or two stray examples, jatati siddhaye. To achieve that goal, they make an effort. Out of thousands and thousands of humans, hardly one or two makes a genuine, determined, dedicated, devoted, diligent effort. Jatatam siddhanam, of those siddhas, kashit mang beti tattata. Very few of them. Out of those thousands, very few, one or two. And of those one or two, when they are a conglomeration, hardly ever one or two, they know me in my totality. It's a fact of life. There are quadrillions. How many saints do we see? Saints, those who have achieved the goal. And not only those who have achieved the goal by internal discipline, they are samadhiman purusha, but how many have been able to transform their personality and their behavior pattern, where they see God everywhere, live with God every moment of their life. They live in God, they live with God, they live for the sake of serving God by seeing God everywhere. How many do we have? Sri Krishna makes it very clear. If you are determined, then please remember, it is not an easy task. I don't want to take you for a ride. That is what Sri Krishna says. Know what you are in for. And if you want to bargain, I am there to help you. And the 7th chapter follows to help you. Manushanam sahasreshu kashit jatati siddhaye. Few of them start. Siddhaye means partial, not total. Siddhi has various concepts. Seeing God in your meditative period, seeing in your dream, interacting, hearing His voice, having a guidance in a dark period of your life, a voice comes within you. They are all parts of success. Siddhi means success. These are all partial, but they are signposts to your destination. But the last goal is when you, in this lively worldly life, you live with God concretely, tangibly. This is the goal of spiritual life. Well, dears, Sri Krishna will not spare himself. He will give of his very best to make it understandable to us, telling us on our very face it is not easy. The choice is yours. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you again. We meet again next Sunday. God bless us all. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Till next Sunday, dears, till we meet again.